Welcome to the notes on proving triangles congruent, and today we're going to be using side, 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 or side angle, side. Again, we will only be using those two to prove triangles congruent. We know what congruent triangles mean now, but we are either going to use side, 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 or side angle, side. And then you're going to justify your reasons in order to prove triangles congruent in a two-column form. All right, and we'll talk about that. On the one side of the column, we'll have statements, and on the right side, we'll have reasons. So let's take a look at how to do these problems, all right? Some people can really struggle with these, but when you break it down, it's really simple. So I'm not going to be able to do all these problems, but we'll do a couple. All right, let's take a look at number one. Okay, when you're doing these proofs, the first thing you will always do, okay, every time you are going to write down the given information. So I like to number these. So I like to say number one, all right, we're going to just literally rewrite angle BDT is congruent to angle GTD. Okay, and we're going to write down that segment BD is congruent to segment GT. Okay, and the reason, well, it's given. So that is the reason. So we're going to have to justify everything we do. Now, here's my best advice for you. Whenever you're doing these proofs, please, please, please mark your diagrams. And I'm capitalizing it because I'm yelling, mark your diagrams with an exclamation point. All right, so please do that. So in this case, all right, we say that angle BDT is congruent to angle GTD. So let's mark that. Where is angle BDT? It's right here, and it's congruent to angle GTD. This angle right here. Okay, so we've got want to mark those diagrams. And again, if I'm one of the triangles, I can make a little mark just like we do it. I got a little A there. I've already got an angle. So now, what do we do next? All right, we said that BD is congruent to GT. BD right here, congruent to GT. So these sides are congruent. So now I've got a side. I got an angle and a side. We know we need three parts to prove congruence. So when you look at these pictures, you got to see what else can we prove. All right, well, we know if they share a side like this, if you see a diagram where they share a side, we know that side's congruent. All right, we've done these before. Well, how do we know that side's congruent? Well, let's state we'll state which segment. So it's DT is congruent to DT. Again, that segment's in both triangles. So obviously it's the same measure. It's congruent to itself because it's the same piece. Well, which property is that? Well, that is the reflexive property. So we're just going to write reflexive. You can write property if you want, or just reflexive. So now when I make that diagram, I've got a side and I've got my third side. So I've got my three pieces. Well, now I have to decide, is it side, 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 or angle, side, side? Is the angle that's congruent in between the two congruent sides? Is it formed by the sides that are congruent? Yes, it is. So our final step is always to finish. Your last step will always be to finish with the proof statement. What are we trying to prove? Well, we're trying to prove that triangle BTD is congruent to triangle GDT. And then our reason, well, it's going to be side, angle, side. All right, that last reason will always be one of our congruence theorems. So start with the given, end with the proof. Make sure to mark your diagram. Let's do one more real quick just to get an idea for it. Whatever they tell you in the given, you're going to use, I promise, okay? So this first one, again, let's start with the given. All right, it says segment PN bisects, I'll abbreviate that, angle MNO, okay? And segment MN is congruent to segment ON. And our reason, we already talked about this, it's going to be given. So let's mark our diagrams. All right, MN is congruent to ON. Well, MN right here, ON. Now, PN bisects MNO. Now, it doesn't tell us anything's congruent, but what do we know if something bisects? Well, bisect means cut in half. MNO is this angle right here. It's this large angle. So bisect, it means it cuts it in half. So these two angles right here are congruent. So let's say that angle, got to label it now. Angle MNP is congruent to angle ONP. And our reason, well, we're just going to put down definition, DEF of, and I'm just going to write angle bisect. I'll kind of shorthand for you. So now we've got a side, we've got an angle. Again, if you want to put a little mark here, we've got a side, We've got an angle. Well, what else can we prove is congruent looking at this picture? Well, there it is. They share that side again. So we can say that NP, segment NP is congruent to segment NP. It's congruent to itself. Again, same piece in both triangles. Obviously, it's the same measure. What's the reason? It's the reflexive. So now I look at the picture. I've got this marked. I've got a side, I've got an angle, I've got another side. I always end with what I'm trying to prove. So there's our final step is triangle MNP congruent to triangle ONP. And the reason, side, angle, side. And there you have two quick examples on how to prove triangles congruent using side, angle, side, 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 side.